Good evening, everyone. It's Wednesday. It's our first Wednesday in August, and it is time for our spin into stillness, which is just a few moments that we take with each other each week as a drop in to go into the stillness, to have a communication with our deep self. And that is the self that I consider our divine self, and to find out more information that we may need from that voice within to live successfully and authentically on this day and on all days. So we can go into this with an issue that we want to solve, or a problem that we want to solve, or with a behavioral change or a perspective that we want to shift. Whatever you choose, this is your meditation and your opportunity to have those moments with yourself. I'm Reverend Robin Nashok, and I am delighted that you are joining us either through the recorded version or through the live stream version. It doesn't matter when you do, because this community, this evening as it happens tonight, is a unique experience. Even if all the same folks showed up every week, each experience is unique. Each experience has its own energy that you can tap into at any time. And so even when you're joining the recording, you've added to the energy of that specific meditation. So welcome. So we use a couple of things to help us shape and focus our meditation together. We begin by setting an intention for that meditation, which is just really articulating what we expect, or what we would like to have happen as a result of our experience tonight. So maybe it's you just want to feel a little less anxious in your day-to-day world, or a little less anxious in this moment. Maybe you want to sleep better as you release that anxiousness and that anxiety. Maybe you want clarity on a problem that you're having and that you need some direction on from the voice within. Any one of these things can be the reason why you're here. Maybe you just want to relax for a few minutes and be still. And that is why we articulate that intention. I suggest you write it down. You might even want to keep a little meditation journal, or if you already have a journal for today's entry, maybe you might want to write what your intention of the meditation was. This just allows you to more clearly articulate what your heart's desires are for the universe, for your deep, deep self. It also allows you to hear your deep self communicate what your deepest desires are as well. So if you write it down, you're basically making a claim to it as something that is a heart's desire. And that always makes it a bit stronger. Now, I would suggest writing it on, if we were in person, especially writing it on a little slip of paper, just like this one, just construction paper that's, cut up, because afterwards, if we were in person, I would gather your little slips of paper and I would send them off into the flames so that we can articulate what our heart's desires are, but release them into the universe. Let go of the attachments to them, because oftentimes the guidance, the information, the manifestation that we want returns to us in a way that is better than we ever imagined, even if it looks more different. So let's do that now. Let's set that intention. A few words, a sentence. It doesn't have to be complicated, or you can make it as complicated as you'd like. This is your meditation. So let us set an intention for it right now. So I've written mine. Now, again, since I can't gather each of yours individually, I can create a proxy for all of your intentions that I would then send off as a representative of all of our intentions. So one of my little slips of paper or billets, however you want to refer to them, always says everyone's intentions right here. And so this is the proxy of your energy, of your energized intention. So as we meditate together, they will all of that energy goes into this little slip. And so when I burn this one, this is like you all individually sent yours out into the flames by yourself. But I've done it for us as a representative. So that's the first way that we start to hone and shape our intention, our meditation this evening. The second way is by drawing an oracle card from a beautiful deck right now. We've been using it for quite some time. We've got quite a ways to go, and I've really been loving how this deck feels with our Wednesday night meditations. It's called the Star Codes Astro Deck. So it is based on astrology, but it really provides a message for us, regardless of whether you believe in astrology or not. It's just a creative prompt. It's just a way of maybe giving you a quick shift of perspective, giving you a little more information that allows you to shift that perspective. That's all. It's like giving yourself a creative prompt. If you've got writer's block, then you draw a card, and this is the card that you work with to unlock and unstick that blockage. So that's all. You don't have to believe in the divination part of the cards. You just have to see that as the prompt that you needed, the sign that you were shown tonight at this time in meditation to help you get perspective on whatever you are intending for your meditation. Does that make sense? Excellent. Let's draw a card. Now, when we draw that card, I always draw from the top card of the deck. I'm going to shuffle them. And when I do, in order for you to see that I'm not reaching into the deck and choosing my own intuitive response to the cards, I'm going to draw the top card if we can all believe that the top card is the card that we choose as our collective response tonight, as our community card for our meditation. So, and again, I invite you to remember that we are meditating from our respective locations, whether it's your office or your home, and you will likely hear ambient noise throughout your meditative experience. We are where we live. We are where we work. So while you may have cordoned yourself off in some place that's wonderful and quiet, which is wonderful for your practice, the reality is we want ourselves to be able to get into this stillness whenever we can. So if we're on a crowded subway, for instance, and we need to get some peace and we need to get there quickly, then hopefully our practice of gathering every Wednesday night and perhaps hearing some extraneous ambient noises like my dog's barking, which always seems to happen, or sirens or doors opening, whatever. If we learn to kind of get through the startling that happens, and it does cause quite a start sometimes. If we can get through this startling and just kind of whip ourselves back right into it, we use that point as a pivot point to go even deeper, then we learn how to get still from wherever we are, and we learn how to apply it when we really need it in our daily lives. So, shuffling is done. We're going to draw that top card together. So as you can see, I'm not looking at the cards. I'm just drawing that top card. And that card for tonight is Sagittarius. Now, we've drawn this card several times before, which is the great thing about drawing these cards. We haven't gotten through them because many times, even though I shuffle them throughout the week and draw my own cards, we sometimes end up with the card that we had a week ago, a month ago, a couple of months ago. And what that means is that it's either reminding us that we have to tend to that issue still, or it's giving us a new perspective on the one that we're dealing with now, on that intention that we've written. So you may hear me read similar words from the book as we will do in a few moments, but it applies differently if your intention is different tonight, or if it's the same, it gives you a reiteration that this is where you need to be exploring. So I'm going to put the card down. You're going to be able to see it on the screen while I read more about the card. There it is. Let me move this a little bit. There we go. So you can see the card. Beautiful card. So as I read, just pay attention to what you're feeling, what resonates from the written information about the card, what you see from the visual cues of the card that may help you, again, expand your perspective, have a little more focus, have a little more clarity on the issue that you have articulated in your intention. So begin to get comfortable, because this is the first stage. We're going to read and hear more about what Sagittarius says to us tonight. Now, you may not be Sagittarius, but it doesn't mean that the Sag card does not have a message for you from its unique perspective. And hello to my beloved Sagittarius friends and chosen family out there. You know who you are. I know who you are too, by the way. Let's read about you. Let's read about what this card says. And again, we just read this a couple of weeks ago. So if you're going back through the recordings, you may find it again, but it applies differently tonight, or it gives you a little more insight, or you're going to feel it a little more differently this evening than you might have a couple of weeks ago. Each experience is unique. Sagittarius asks us, invites us to expand. Always good. Sagittarius asks us to think big, travel far, and use our restlessness and curiosity to create. A mutable fire sign, Sagittarius' symbol is that of a centaur, half human, half horse, which epitomizes the connection between humans and the natural. Sagittarius, ruled by expansive Jupiter, rules the thighs, the muscles that propel our movement. The sun shines in Sagittarius November 22nd through December 21st. Our action for Sagittarius. Sagittarius has two imperatives: expand your perspective, always a good thing, and humbly speak your truth. Let your perspective become versatile, flexible, and curious. Travel in the body or in the mind and explore a larger philosophical, environmental, or metaphysical context for this situation, whatever one you've intended. Imagine you are on a mountaintop. Look down at your life from 1,000 feet up. Now take it further, like the astronaut who has looked down on our spinning green and blue globe and has seen no borders between countries. You are a global citizen. Change your life to reflect this reality. Speak your truth. Remember the fairy tale, The Emperor's New Clothes. A pair of Karnars arrive at an emperor's court claiming to make beautiful garments. They say their creations are only visible to people of quality. Incompetent people can't see the clothes. No one in the emperor's court wants to admit they can't see the supposedly intricate garments, and the emperor wears his new clothes on parade. Only one honest Sagittarian style boy speaks up without rancor, states the obvious: the emperor is naked, and breaks the spell. Ask what spell you need to break to speak up. The challenge of this card: just because you see it doesn't mean you have to say it. Timing and pacing are everything. Be honest, not mean. Ask if what you are about to say is wise, kind, and necessary, as well as true. Watch out for the geographic cure, the belief that travel will solve problems, because wherever you go, there you are. The gift of this card is honor your relationships. Sagittarius reminds us that our spiritual path is connected to all our relations, two-footed, four-footed, and many-legged, winged, scaled, and finned, and that they are connected to us. So it's a lot today. Expanding. We're expanding our perspective. We're expanding our perspective, not just on our own issue, but on our relationship to the earth and to humanity. Because when we realize that we are here and that we are unique expressions, but part of a massive and singular all that is, then we can begin to see that we're all on the same journey. We're all on the same path with unique expressions of that path. And that we all need to take care of ourselves because it's a delicate and beautifully also complex ecosystem. Yes, we're all the same, but each one of us is unique in that sameness, without which the universe would not operate as it does. Without our role, without our place, without our unique contributions. This is what we remember this evening as we go into the stillness. So get comfortable. Find your little nest. Try to arrange yourself so that you are comfortable and relaxed and yet can remain alert for the meditative part once we go more and more deeply, so that you can consciously have that discussion, that communication with the divine. So let's breathe together first. We're going to return to your own pace, but we want to establish this intentional breathing as we inhale and exhale. We're holding in between. Inhale and hold and exhale. And on the third breath, inhale. Inhale fully. Hold. And as you exhale, you can close your eyes if you choose, if you are able. And I leave the card up so that you can open your eyes if you need to and remind yourself of the visual on the card. Or you can go more and more deeply with your eyes closed. But as our breathing returns to normal, as we inhale and exhale deeply, we allow ourselves to relax. We allow our physical body first, feeling it as if it is melting gently and slowly melting. Knowing that our shape, our true shape, our essence remains present, but the imagery of melting completely like a popsicle or a snow cone allows us to relax our body and our mind. As we melt, all of the pain that was in our physical body melts away. All of the emotional pain melts away just for a few moments. You may decide you need to grab onto that emotional challenge and pain when you come back, but for now, just allow it to melt away. And know that as our bodies begin to melt and their stresses begin to melt, what is left is a pure and beautiful essence. And since it is summer, and since it is imagining of our melting this evening, imagine that essence just rising out of that melted body like a beautiful and very present mist or steam. That steam that comes from the melting of our physical and mental selves is our true essence. I want us all to think of that essence for ourselves. Maybe it has a scent. Maybe it has a color or a shimmer. That individual essence that is rising from our melted physical self is unique and beautiful in color, in scent. Maybe it tastes like a wonderful memory. We all may experience that essence in this pure, non physical state differently. But just feel it, this truth, this authentic essence that exists beyond our bodies. And as we just embrace this essence as being part of who we are, let us become aware of that deep self. That deep, deep self is a powerful presence beneath our essence, a non physical source. That powerful source is the source of everything. Everything in our mind, everything in our hearts. Imagine that source having an answer for us. Imagine that source Imagine that source sharing with us love and truth, especially about the intention that we have set forth. Just have that dialogue with that deep, deep self. With that voice, your intention, that specific issue that requires an expanded perspective. And as you do, hear, experience that deep insight about your issue as a message that articulates just how you must or can look at this situation differently. See that intention you wrote. Hear your deep voice inviting you to take a step above that intention and to see it in a way that you have not before. Maybe from the other person's perspective, or maybe just the opposite way you are thinking of it now. Your voice is sharing with you right now just what you need to know to expand that perspective just a bit more widely. Can you hear it? Can you feel it? Can you understand it? Remember, you may not understand it exactly or clearly right now, but just know that you will in the moments after you return or through the week following this meditation. Trust that you're receiving information that if it doesn't quite make sense now, it will. It will. And now let us take that information. Let us embrace that information. Let us be grateful to that deep voice. Let us begin to return to ourselves, to that essence. that is just slightly above where we have felt the presence of that deep self. We are still that mist, that shimmer, however that essence has revealed itself to us. The deep self is always there, always accessible, and is always informing us with truth and authenticity. Let us be grateful for that, and let us take one step closer to returning to our space. Now that we are sensing our presence and our essence, let us begin to envision our return to our physical self. So, wherever we have melted into that little energized pool that we've melted into, imagine it beginning to stir ever so slightly. And as it does, that essence and that steam or that shimmer all begins to be reabsorbed by that little pool that we become. And as it is, our body takes shape more and more clearly and vividly, more and more. As we return to our physical shape, we feel the boundaries of our skin, our personal space. We feel the chair back or the floor back or the pillows. We feel the senses. We can feel and sense with our senses again in our physical self more and more. And as we return, we also realize that the discomfort and pain and anxiety and angst, that's all remained melted away. We are beginning fresh and anew this evening. We are feeling rejuvenated and restored. All of life begins anew at this moment. The baggage is gone, the pain is gone. If we choose, we can start fresh as our body takes shape more and more, more and more, more and more. Nice. Let's feel our fingers and toes and wiggle them. Nice. Let's return completely with 3 quick breaths. On the last one, we will open our eyes. So let's inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. One more deep breath as we inhale and exhale quickly as we return to our present, to our bodies, feeling ourselves fully returning, feeling that physicality, being energized by that physicality, feeling a refreshed physicality. So I hope you were able to get information. I hope you were able to expand the messages to see yourself as part of something greater so that you can become more aware and also speak your authentic, true, unique perspective and self as an expression. Create. See what it feels like to create as that authentic response to life. Now, I forgot to burn the intentions 2 weeks ago, well, in front of everybody, but I do it afterwards. And so I'm here today to do this for us all right now. So let's reignite. I've got to reignite my candle here. Let's just set this go. So I'm going to light mine first, as you can see right here. And as it goes, You see it go off into the flames. And then we add everyone's intentions right here to the flames, seeing them catch and burn. And so we've set that intention, we establish that focus, and then we just release that attachment to that focus, that intention. And off they go. Beautiful. So, as always, I thank you so much for joining us, for making this part of your week or whenever you choose to participate and receive. It's always grateful for the presence and essence. This is a community. It may grow or swell or shrink depending on the weeks. It's summertime, so people are coming and going. I completely understand, but we're here. It's a drop in. It's a way for you to just have a spot that you can go to and return to each week so that you start that meditative practice, so that you just begin the process of being still with yourself with no judgment. You don't have to clear your mind of anything. As a matter of fact, in these meditations, we encourage a lot of imagination and thinking, which is part of the whole connecting with spirit, if that's what you choose to believe, or connecting with your deeper self, with that inner voice that you have. It's a beautiful way of expression. So thank you for being there. My dogs have started barking, at least they waited till afterwards. Glad for that. Let's see if anybody's joined us. And if, again, I keep checking the live streams, and sometimes they don't show up. I see, well, at least see 3 people here. So hope you're here, whoever you are. Let's see, check the Facebooks first. And if you're here, say hello, wave if you'd like. Just write in the comments. Always glad to hear from you. Always glad to see that people are here and receiving information and getting there. And there's Sue Hoskew with glimmers. Yes. Smiley and Sue. Yes. Thank you. See, Kathleen is liked. So if you're here, great. Again, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can be as anonymous as you want. Always happy for those who have indicated they're here. I'll check YouTube real quick. But again, if I've missed you because of the Smiley and Sue, yes, thank you. Because of the software or whatever, just know that you can still say hello. I'm so grateful that you're here, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. So that's it. Keep spinning into that stillness whenever you can. Enjoy every day of this beautiful summer of 2024. We are still in it. We're experiencing a lot of heat. Stay cool. Stay wonderful. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Good night.